Hi, this is Jenny O. Y'all with Nuggets and Things. Today, I want to share with you something that did really disturb me on yesterday. I was reading about a young man who was 18 years old who shot and killed his girlfriend, who was also 18, and then killed himself. And I see this as an epidemic that's going around young people, in relationships that chooses not to walk away but have this anger or jealousy that leads them to this anger to take somebody's life. Probably maybe a few years before then, that a young man, the girl had broke up with him and moved on with her life. And he comes to her home and throws her off her balcony of her apartment and kills her. And then I started reading, because I was doing research because I advocate for domestic violence. I'm an advocate of domestic violence because it is deep, close to me, and when I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But I'm looking at people who have gotten to a place in their life that feels as though it's okay to take another person's life or to put them in such fear for their life. I have been blessed beyond measure most all of my life. I would say most of it, no, all of my life I have been blessed. I've seen domestic violence in so many ways. I advocate for it and I'm bringing awareness. I'm trying to start in the schools. I'm trying to start a program now that I can go to the schools because so many children have seen domestic violence in their home. They've seen it. And if you see it, it's recorded in your mind. Now, some people look at something and say, that's something I would never do. And some look at it and say, it must be okay because I'm watching my mother, my father, whoever that guardian, whoever it is in front of them, display this kind of behavior. And so, because it's been recorded, it's a memory and it's a thought that's either going to be counseled or acted upon at some point in their life. And so I saw this happening. I did a platform probably maybe about 5 months ago. I did a platform where I talked about, how I had to, deal with domestic violence personally. And I opened up myself to talk about my encounters with domestic violence. Having someone in my life, who chose to abuse me instead of love me. And then turn around and say how much they love me while they abuse me. And some of everybody knows somebody who has been abused, physically abused. Everybody knows somebody. Whether it's you or parents, cousins, children, somebody who has dealt with that. And if it's not you, sometimes you have an easy solution to their problem. You have an easy solution. Just leave, just walk away. And you're correct. What you just said is correct. But when you're in that situation, things are different. People have different reasons why they do stupid, silly things sometimes and not leaving, right? I worked at a center for abused women. I worked there. I worked there because I wanted to help women, who were going through that because I wanted them to know that there was doors available for them. They can come out. I wanted them to know I was not only sympathetic to their problem, but I understood them. And so I could see it from a different perspective. I can lean back on and say, oh yeah, I see that coming. And I say all of that to say, when I saw this disturbing news, and I mean, it disturbed me, it just tore at my heart. You're 18 years old, haven't even started your life, but think they're so in love at 18 that they don't want somebody to move on with their life, that they're willing to take their life and then take their own. Where do you get that from? How do you figure that's okay? Why would you sit back and contemplate that long on how you're going to just end not just your life, but somebody else's? Somebody's future, somebody's child who was getting ready to graduate. You about to graduate. Whatever, whatever happened, the thoughts that people have. I remember something. I was probably 19 years old. And I ran into a guy who I had this mean crush on when I was like, 15 or 16. I just thought he was this, ooh, right? And I ran into him when I got 19. I ran into him somewhere. I don't know where it was, but he knows before we had, that thing called Wi-Fi or cell phone. So it was a personal run-in. And we exchanged numbers and we began to talk to one another, across the phone. And then he said, he wanted to, us to meet up or whatever. But it seemed like our timing always got, messed up. We never could meet. And so one day he got agitated because every time he thought he was going to meet with me, something came up. I was a mother. And I said, whatever it was, I was young and, thought I owned the world. But anyway, I never met with him. But one day he called me on the phone. He said, hey, he said, I've been watching you. I said, you have? He said, yeah. He says, I saw you the other day. And he started telling me what I wore that day, where I went that day, what car was at the yard, and I'm like, okay. I mean, he was correct on everything he was saying. I said, yeah, okay. He said, I see you. He was going to do something. I don't know if he said he was going to kill me or he was going to hurt me, one or the other, but he threatened me, right? And I told my sister what he said, and she said, well, just call the police, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if I even called the police. Like I said, it's a long time ago. But he called back and said, I just saw you need to go to the store. And I did. I walked to the store. He says, next time I see you, thus and thus. I said, look, I'm going to tell you what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to go to the store again. I said, so whatever you're going to do, you make sure you do it. I say, do it before I do it to you. That's how I talk, right? Because I'm 19, just ain't thinking, people silly. So anyway, I did. I went to the store. I came back and I didn't hear from him. I don't know, maybe a week or so. And then one day I was watching TV and something came across the news. This guy he actually killed somebody. He killed his girlfriend who was trying to leave him. She was trying to get on the bus. Her mother was trying to get her on the bus. And she had her sister with her. She was trying to run for her life from this guy. And he shot and killed her. I think he killed the mother. He shot the sister. And I know several people were shot that day. And my mouth just dropped. My mouth dropped because I know it could have been me. That could have been me. That he had been stalking and telling me if I didn't do what he wanted, that he was going to take my life. And I took it, whatever. But I was covered. There was nothing more special for me than her. It just so happened I was covered. And I think about that. I was young, 19, with a son. And I could have had my life taken from me because somebody, mind was twisted. And you just don't know when you start talking to somebody who's smiling and grinning at you. And because they're putting on their best. And you're thinking, oh, I'm getting ready to get something great. And this is male or female. Because I know some women that take some men through some serious, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And they say, oh, he must be, he let some woman. No, I'm telling you, I know women. Anyway, I say that, I'm telling you this because, I'm in the process of writing my third book. And it's a memoir, actually, about my life. And I'm going to bring in some things. And I'm going to leave out a whole lot more. But going through my life, I've seen some stuff. And I've been involved in a whole lot of things. And a lot of people will look at me and sometimes they would talk about something and I would share a part of my story. They look at me and says, there's no way that happened to you. I said, yeah, it happened. That there's no way that I said it did. I went through dust and dust. And they said, my God, I would never think anybody would do that to you. I said, I'm no exception to the rule. Nobody is. Nobody's exempt from bad things happening to you. You know, things happen. I'm saying that to say this. If you know of somebody, because I was doing this, I'm still working on this narrative. I'm trying to do this narrative about the young lady. Her name was Kitty in 1964. And I know y'all probably know the story. If you don't, please look it up. In 1964, I believe it's March the 27th, I believe. Don't quote me on it. Her name was, they called her Kitty. And this woman's in New York. And I'm going to try my best to tell you this story and not feel her pain, because I am a true empath. I can feel folks, right? So she's in New York, coming home from work, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. Young girl, young. I think she might have been 27, maybe 20. She was 26. She was young, coming home from work. And some man who saw her coming home from work stopped at the light at the same time she did. She never even noticed him, but he noticed her by herself. Followed her to her home. And when she got in her car to go to her apartment, he stabbed her. He stabbed this woman, and she screamed out. She hollered, "He's trying to kill me. He's stabbing me. He's trying to kill me." In New York, at an apartment complex, people heard her hollering, and nobody called the police. He stabbed her again. She's still hollering. She's screaming for her life. Somebody opened the window and said, "Leave that girl alone." He left. They closed the window. She's down there bleeding. Somebody else turned the light on. But nobody called the police. Nobody wanted to get involved in this woman being stabbed to death out here in the open. She tried to crawl her way to her building, and she crawled almost to her door. This man came back, stabbed her again, I think she had $39 or $41, robbed her, and also raped her. Killed her. People, I think they said over 38 to 40 people listened to this woman being stabbed, crying out for help, hollering, screaming out of pain, and nobody made a call. Finally, some guy, this is the kicker, some guy went across the hall to an elderly lady and asked her to call for help. He wouldn't do it, but he asked her. She's a senior. Imagine that. This woman was killed, and people heard her dying, and nobody did anything. And I'm saying that because I want to make sure everybody understands something. Our life is precious. It is a gift. And nobody has the right to take away your gift, your breath, your life, your joy, your purpose, your future. Nobody. And when someone comes into your life, smiling and grinning, and telling you how wonderful you are. "Oh, you this, I'm so glad I met you. You're the best thing cooking since apple pie." All that sweet stuff, I know. But when they finish talking, and you see that anger show up, and they do that one time, snatch you up, put their hands on you, or hurt you in any sort of way, that is an indicator for you to move. Cease all communication and let that relationship go. I know, especially we as women, we think we can fix them. Oh, they was sorry. I just made them mad. And they told me, I shouldn't have made that mad. I know. I mean, we make all kinds of excuses. We want love so bad sometimes. We accept things that we should never accept. It is not, you know, it is not okay for you to abuse and to be hurting somebody else. That's somebody else's mother, somebody else's father, somebody else's son, somebody else's daughter, somebody's brother, sister, whatever. You don't have a right to hurt somebody else. And so I'm advocating because that I saw yesterday, it was a trigger for me. I said, I ain't getting to the schools fast enough. I got grandchildren coming up. I want to make sure they understand when somebody do this to you, I want you to book. We call book mean get your tail up out of there. Book, go. To my daughters and my granddaughters and my grandsons too, because our life has changed now since we were coming up. Everybody's dating everybody. So it's not just happening to males, it's not just happening, to females. It's happening to here you are. I want you to know it is not okay. It's not okay for anyone to abuse you, and it's not okay for you to sit back and allow someone to do it to somebody you love and not say a word. It's not okay. Maybe you can't beat them. Maybe you cannot defeat them, but you can do something. You can make a call. Do something. Don't just sit there and let somebody who you love, that's precious to you, be murdered right in front of you. And they may not have murdered them. I'm saying, that they're on their way. If they're starting this, it's no telling how far they will go. This is deep to me. I remember in my life, I went through this. I had my ex-husband one time. His mother, who I didn't like, because she was definitely not pro Jenny. His mother told him something to upset him, a lie. So when he came home, he was upset with me. And I'm trying to figure, what were you mad about? I got 2 children. I got 2 small kids. I'm saying it was a cold, blizzard, cold day up north. It was cold. And there was snow on the ground. And the snow was like almost, I'm going to say 2 feet. I'm home with my children all night. And he comes in telling me I was somewhere else. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm home all day, blasey, blam. And I'm trying to talk to him, but I knew there was no way I could talk to him. He's hyped. He's been told a lie, and he is working off that lie. So I'm already thinking, oh Lord, I know this is getting ready to go. So I'm trying to figure out my escape route. I got to get out of this house because I know he getting ready to trip. Right? And somehow, I remember seeing my children back in the back room. Again, they recording this. And he got hyped. And I'm sitting on the sofa looking at him because I'm trying to reason with him and I'm trying to plead with him that it's a lie, it's not true. But I'm also looking at him and I'm seeing that he's been triggered and he's getting angrier and angrier. And I'm like, oh my gracious, this is not going to be well. This ain't going to be well. I knew it wasn't going to go well. So I'm thinking how I'm going to get out of here. I was wearing, I think a silk shirt. It was a silk shirt, I had this silk shirt on. It was pink. I never forget it. Some things you never forget. I had this shirt on and I'm sitting there with this shirt on. And I knew he's getting ready to snap. And all of a sudden, he took some kerosene and he just sprayed it on me. And behind the kerosene, he threw a match. And he said, burn, bee, burn. You can know what the bee was. And I'm on fire. This shirt's on fire. The flames are on. And I'm trying to come out the shirt. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to come out this shirt. And he's just looking at me, telling me to burn. I get this shirt off and I'm thinking now, get out this house, and get some help. Because he never messed with the children. Get some help so you can get your children. Because he's on a warpath. Right? Something happened and my guides made a path for me. I don't know what happened, but I saw a path. You hear me? I was barefooted. I had grabbed a shirt, but I didn't have it on. And I hit that hall, opened that back door, jumped into the snow, barefooted, and took off running. I went straight to a beeline to this woman's house who I didn't know, but I was banging, please let me in, help me, please help me, he's trying to kill me. And she opened the door. What if she didn't open the door? Because he was coming behind me. What if she didn't open the door? You would never see me today. But she did. I got in that door. I called the police. And I called my brother. I called my brother. And I said, he set me on fire. And I'm the baby sis. I ain't the baby, I'm the baby sister. Because all my brothers are older than me. And my oldest brother, that boy don't play. And then the one next to me, I'm his heart. And he said, what? I said, yeah. He said, where you at? I said, I'm at such a place. They said, oh, we on our way. And I don't know how far they was, but the police came and got him. And when the police were pulling up with him, my brothers was pulling up. Timing. Timing. Because them two brothers there, my brother had his long, his military jacket on. And when you open it up, he was strapped. You hear what I'm telling you? And my other brother, he don't never play without one, right? So they came to put his lights out, putting his hands on that sister. Because they don't play that. Look, you don't be touching my sister. Now, I'm laughing, right? I ain't promoting violence, but I'm letting you know that meant I had some people in my corner who would fight for me. That woman on that street didn't have somebody fighting for her. You hear me? The young lady who was shot, where was her fighters? We got to understand something. This here that's happening, we understand, our world today's got a whole lot of stresses going on, a whole lot of stresses. I'm telling you, before the pandemic, there were stresses. Things are going on, unemployment, people losing their homes. All kinds of stuff is happening. Families are breaking up. Drugs on a high. All kinds of things are going on. I understand that, but look, when you go to trying to take somebody's life because of your stresses, that ain't cool and it ain't good. We got to teach our children, teach your children, teach your daughters, teach your sons at a young age. I don't care if they're in your home and there's violence in your home, but you teach them. Look, mama or daddy, I'm trying to get out of this. I'm trying to get you out of this, but look, this is not right. If you ever see this, I want you to go. I want you to call for help. We got to teach our children, our grandchildren, because this is happening. I did not know it was happening so much with our children. I moved to this town and I was told, because, I'm trying to get this program together, how I can go into these schools. I talk to grown people all the time. But I'm trying to get them before they get grown. I'm trying to get them while they're young, so they can, they can at least have somebody put some seeds in their ground and let them know that this is not approved. It's, it's not cool. It's not good. And if it happens to you, call for help. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your brothers and sisters, tell somebody that so-and-so has done this to you. Tell somebody, don't suffer alone. I am trying my best to educate people, to empower them, to enrich them with this information. Because again, I've been there. I know what it's like. I'm glad I had people helping me. I had people who I can fall back on. I'm still here alive today, and I shouldn't be. I should have been gone several times. I should have been gone. Many times I was threatened. I'm going to take your life. Oh, one time, I'm going to bust them teeth out. I'm tired of you smiling. I'm tired of seeing them teeth. I'm going to bust them. I said, look, it ain't going to never, you ain't hitting this grill. You can't mess with the grill. Ugh. I'm laughing, y'all, but y'all know I'm serious, right? But I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I had a chance. Some people don't. There are some people who don't have that opportunity to run. If you know somebody, if you are that somebody, whether you're the one who's getting it or giving it, it's time for changes. I'm telling you, it's time for changes. This right here, this type of violence is not acceptable. It is not good. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the mind state especially of a man beating a woman. First of all, 9 times out of 10, you know you can beat her. So why are you doing that? I mean, this power of control, this thing because I'm telling you something. The only reason why I went through what I went through is because I was churched. I was churched. Church taught me to be submissive. It told me, do not fight back. Turn the other cheek. This is what church taught me. And when I went to my pastor and I told my pastor what was going on in my home, he told me, you pray. You pray that demon out of him. You pray, but you submit because that's your husband. And then he went back and told my husband, then I told on him, which got me another daggone licking. So I knew I couldn't run to the church. I could definitely run to my pastor. And then he told his wife, the pastor told his wife that I must be provoking him because he was a pillar. Ain't that a trip? Church got my tail whipped because before I went to church, I was a fighter. I fought all the time. But I was told, put your weapons up, stop fighting, and you just pray. And I'm not knocking church, honey. I ain't knocking religion. So don't come at me wrong. I'm just telling you what I was told. And that wasn't cool. And I believe even in your churches, and if you somebody who leads a church, you need to understand and teach yourself some lessons on how to deal with somebody who's going through domestic violence. So you don't lead them wrong, that you help them. You guide them to answers, to some light. And don't tell them, just keep praying. While you getting beaten and maybe killed. Just keep praying. That blood's on your hands. We got to be educated on how to deal with somebody who is going through some really serious struggles in life. Because I'm telling you, I left church just so I could protect myself. I left church. And I didn't have issues when I left church. When I went back to church, I had issues again. Because submit. I'm telling you. Now, I'm telling you for me. I know y'all said, well, you got common sense. You're right. You got common sense. You do. But then I also have this thing called, you read what you read. And if it tells you to do this is what you're supposed to do. Right? And I know y'all saying, come on, girl, come on. I understand everything you said. And I'm grown now. I got some wisdom in me now. I got some in me now. Because I had to get to a place where I didn't care what I read. Because now I'm getting ready to stand up for who I am. Because ain't nobody going to ever put me in that condition and position ever again. If I can help it. So I'm very careful of people walk up to me, talk me, hey, sweetie, how you doing? I'm doing just fine, thank you. Now, when I see a red flag, and I teach people about them flags. When I see a red flag, I bounce, honey. You may not even know it because I'm still talking to you, but I done bounced out your life. I ain't even talking. Look, we'll never go into a conversation any deeper than this because I've already seen a red flag. I don't do red flags. When I see them, because I know what it's like. And I'm telling you, if you see a flag, do not take it lightly. When somebody tells you that they will do this to you, or they done it to somebody else, but they made me mad, I don't care what their excuse is. If that's what you heard, that's a flag. Because let me tell you something. I get upset too. Somebody say, you got some righteous anger. I get upset too. But I learned some things about my anger. I learned to walk away. I learned to sing. I learned to do something to push that energy somewhere else, because your energy can be good or bad, light or dark. And whatever you have, that's what you're going to display. That's what you're going to show. I want you to help me, help others understand the seriousness of domestic violence. People are being told it's okay. Young boys told it's okay to hit your girl. You know, be a man. What she say to you? Slap her. You know, because they watch this. They see this. It's been displayed to them in the homes, around them. It's not cool. And we got to change some things. And when I saw this, I had to speak out. If I didn't speak out, I would feel condemned, because I feel like I didn't do anything for that young lady. I don't even know her. But I have to advocate for her, because she got the wrong lick. You know, I don't know if she ever knew how to get away. I don't know if she ever knew what to do. But for those that we do know, let's do better by educating. I mean, you got cities that you're in, towns that you go through, people that you meet. Just educate people, especially our young children, because they don't know no better. They need help. Everybody running around here talking about they're looking for love. You know, it's not love they're really looking for. They think it is. But if they're looking for love, that's not love. He don't love you. She don't love you when she hitting you and beating you. That's not love. You know? And I don't like somebody be wrestling with me. Don't be wrestling with me. Wrestle with me all hard, like you trying to try my strength. I don't play that. You mess trying to catch a blade. I don't play that. Look, I've been wrestled with before. And look, it don't turn out well, so I don't do that wrestling. That stop. Look, my ex and I, one time we fought almost an hour and a half, probably over that. And every time he said to me, if I let you up, are you gonna stop? I said, nope, you let me up, I'm gonna hit you again. And he let me up and I hit him again. We was fighting again. But that was a fight to the finish. That was the last fight we had. And the only reason why we fought that long, because he did something to my baby. When he threw my baby. And I'm not laughing because he threw my baby. I'm laughing because when that happened, he saw something in me he ain't never saw. He didn't even know I could ever get that angry. But we fought. And I promised myself that'll never happen again. Now, me and you is one thing, but you touch any of my children, to this day, my oldest son is 45. He'll be 45 in a couple of days. He almost get turned 45 years old. But I'm telling you right now, I am a bear about my children. Don't be messing with my babies. I'm telling you, I will fight, shoot, kill. Don't make no difference. Leave my youngins alone. Scratch that. Scratch that. Don't be messing with my babies. I love my youngins. And we will go, look, they call me and say, Mom, I said, who? Oh, look, seriously. You know, I do want us to, take this really serious, because I know what it's like. I've been there. I've been in those chains, and it's gonna be in my book. I'm not gonna give you all of it because you won't read my book. But I've been in those chains. I've been bound. I've had things happen to me that you would not believe. That guy who put me on fire, and my body was in flames. To this day, you'll never know it. To this day, everybody's trying to figure out how in the world. Because I was graced, I was blessed, I was sheltered. I got 3 little dots as a reminder. That's all I got. And you got to look for them. But I got out. Some people didn't. Some people never made it out. And that's why I advocate. I advocate to help those who are in it, those that want to get out of it, those who are out and are still traumatized by it. This is what I do. I do this, and I want you to just join hands with me, really, seriously, and pass that word on. Pass this video if you need to, because I plan on helping as many people as I possibly can, that nobody would ever have to be crying in the street for help and everybody turns their back because nobody wants to be involved. We must get involved. We must become involved because today it's them. Tomorrow it could be you or somebody you love because you don't know. You don't know what is already set up. Let's do better. I thank you for your time. I hope your interest. I hope you have also taken something that has resonated in your life, that you would take this and you would share it. And you will pass that word on, and you would help advocate for those who can't fight for themselves, who don't know how, who, their mind don't even understand half things is happening. Let's get the word out there and let's just do better as a whole unit. Not one person can do it by themselves, but together we can shake this world and hopefully shake some stuff off of it that people will stop doing some of the stuff that they're doing, especially our young people. It's sad. Much love to you. Let your light so shine, let it shine brighter than ever. I mean, put your bulbs on high. Let that light shine. Shine hard. Shine deep. And don't forget to be able to love somebody. Even though you don't know them, they still need you. Be a guiding light. Be a powerhouse. Be important and be encouraged that you be able to help somebody or help yourself. If you're the one who's going through it, help yourself. Please, please don't be a statistic. I look forward to hearing from you, hopefully seeing you again. You be blessed. You be powerful. Thank you so much. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Shine your light.